Hey there, guys. Cast back with a new video today, and we're talking your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So, the entire show is now out on Disney Plus, and I've watched it all. And honestly, this is in like my top three Spider-Man cartoons of all time. I won't lie. For me, it's like Spectacular Spider-Man, then the 90s Spider-Man, and then this is in third place, to be honest. Like, this is just such a good adaptation of Peter Parker Spider-Man. Like, I absolutely love it. And I just can't wait. We know that's been renewed for season 2 and season 3. And yeah, I just can't wait to get more of this world, to be honest, which is going to be amazing. And like even seeing some of the like supporting cast members, like characters, even some cameos from other heroes and that, and villains too, are just all amazing in this show. I can't lie. But yeah, guys, yeah, in my opinion, this show is like probably the best thing to come out of their animation side since X-Men '97 has come out. This is just so good, honestly, and I would 100% recommend go watch it. Like, you'll definitely enjoy it. But yeah, guys, that's just like my brief overall on of thoughts of it. But I just want to go into some spoilers now, into the actual show. So, what do I think of this adaptation of Peter Parker? Like, Peter in this show, he is very great, to be honest. Like, I really enjoyed his version, because it's the same voice actor that voiced Peter in What If Season 1 from the Marvel Zombies episode, basically. And like, the voice actors in this all do a great job, to be honest. But Peter in this is just, obviously this is inspired by the MCU version that's played by Tom Holland. But it's just like its own universe thing. You can tell that this show was originally set in like as like a prequel. It was originally meant to be a prequel. You can tell that, but you can tell they've been given like free reins to do their own thing with this show now. So yeah, I just can't wait for this uh, to spread out even more when we do get like future seasons and that. Like, I can't wait. But yeah, Peter in this was really good. Like, seeing him be like an intern for Norman Osborn instead of Tony Stark was interesting as well. And his relationship with Norman Osborn was very interesting. Like, Norman in this was amazing. Like, I absolutely like Coleman Domingo, I think, who voices him. He's in like other stuff as well, like Euphoria. I believe he was Unicron as well in Rise of Beasts. But people been wanting him to join the MCU. I know there's people that were going on about him like replacing like Jonathan Majors as Kang or something. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind if he actually plays Norman Osborn in Tom Holland's like universe. To be honest, like his version of Norman Osborn, I think that'd be really cool if he played Norman Osborn in live action. Like, he was that good, in my opinion. Like, I really enjoyed his performance of Norman. And like, eventually we're gonna see him obviously become Green Goblin, because we got a couple teasers of like the spoiler alert, the Goblin Glider and Oscorp like cloning Peter's blood and trying to create other spider people and putting that blood into spiders, which we see in the finale and that as well. Because it turns out that the spider that bit Peter was actually from the Oscorp lab, that Norman was using his blood from, basically, or got the blood from, basically, from one of his previous battles. So it was kind of weird, like sort of time travel, sort of whiny sort of thing at the end with Doctor Strange and that symbiote, which tied into the very first episode of the series, which was very cool. I really like that as well. That symbiote is interesting because obviously a little bit of that got left behind as well. So that's obviously how they're going to introduce Venom, and we got to see, because Norman Osborn was trying to create like a portal to other worlds, basically like space travel, because he was obviously inspired from like when Thor landed in like New Mexico and when the Shatari invaded New York. So some events in the MCU are still in this universe as well. So like those events I just mentioned, even like the Sokovia Accords is happening at the same time as well of this series, which is really cool. But yeah, we do get to see like other symbiotes in that portal because Doctor Strange tries to stop them, and then Spider-Man and Strange have to team up to stop them. And we do see like potentially Clintar on the other side, where we see all those other symbiotes. But they managed to close the portal, but only a tiny bit of the symbiote managed to get through. So that's obviously how they're going to introduce Venom and eventually do the black suit, obviously. But we'll just have to wait and see when that happens. But yeah, going back to some of the other characters, we've also got like some of the like supporting characters, such as like Nico, who many people know her from like the Runaways. She was great in this, and seeing her like involve as a character as well through the show was very interesting, and her finding out Peter's secret as well, and then seeing her at the very end where we find out she has actually got her powers of like sorcery and that, where she's talking to her mum in the necklace, which is interesting. So she'll obviously have to tell Peter about that. So Peter will obviously find out next season, I imagine, about that, which is going to be interesting to see. You've also got like Lonnie Lincoln. Oh my god, Lonnie in this show, because he's obviously Tombstone in the comics. Lonnie and Peter's relationship was so good in the show. I can't lie. Like, it's going to be so... I'm going to feel so bad and feel so sad once Peter does have to fight him eventually, when he does become like full proper Tombstone. Because obviously he just gets involved with that gang under the wrong circumstances. He's just trying to protect his brother and family and all that. Yeah, and his family still don't know, which is like another thing as well. And then he obviously breaks... well, we don't actually see them break up, but him and his girlfriend Pearl, who Peter has a crush on as well, they they do have a bit of an argument. And then obviously when he gets involved with the gang, we do see that gang, the 110th Street, I believe that gang was called, get involved with a gang war between the Scorpions, which is obviously led by Matt Gargan, aka the Scorpion. And Scorpion in this was a beast. But yeah, seeing Peter and Lonnie team up at the end to take him down after Lonnie got infected by the Dioxis-3 gas in the Oscorp truck from Otto's stash. Seeing him get infected with that was interesting, and then because that's obviously from the comics, and I remember that from like the PS4, like the Dioxis gas from the PlayStation game as well with Tombstone. And you obviously in the end of the season finale, we see him ditch his football jacket because he's no longer on the football team. He's like dedicated, because he's taken over the gang now, because Big Don was obviously a wimp at the end. He just left them all. And we see his skin start turning like pale, like grey and like white, basically, like really pale, just like in the comics Tombstone's skin is very like pale and that. So it'll be interesting to see what we will get once he is like full Tombstone, because he does get the name Tombstone in the first season, but he hasn't like evolved into a fully fledged villain Tombstone yet, and it's going to be heartbreaking to watch that when he has to fight Peter. Yeah. But yeah, that relationship was so good, and I just can't wait to see more of that. We've also got Harry Osborn as well. Harry Osborn, it was alright. It was quite funny on some bits as well, to be honest. I liked the episode where we get to flesh out Harry and Nico becoming friends. That was really cool. I really liked that, and obviously Harry being like his guy in the chair basically for Peter when he's superheroing and that. But yeah, Harry was really cool, and he's obviously started his own company now for like interns. So we do get like a billboard of different names that could join this company called Web, which has been called. Some of the names do recognise, like Ned Leeds, obviously Amadeus Cho and all that, who we see in the show, and like a bunch more. But there is some names I don't recognise on there. But if you recognise any, then let me know down below in the comments. But yeah, most of them I do recognise, but there is only a couple I don't recognise. But yeah. But yeah, talking of like those interns who we did see like Aisha, Amadeus Cho, and Jean, Jean Verse, I believe, who I believe is the daughter of Taskmaster. I've seen online. I didn't really know much about her at all, to be honest, until this show came out. But yeah, I think she's the daughter of Taskmaster. I've seen online. But yeah, she's working with Daredevil, which is very interesting to see. And they're trying to expose Norman Osborn, so we'll have to see how that storyline goes in the future. But yeah, I'm very curious about that. But yeah, the interns were cool seeing them with Pete and that. We also got Dr. Connors as well, which was interesting, one of the teachers. We got Dr. Whitman, who I believe is the Wizard, the Fantastic Four villain, I believe. So yeah, we've got Lizard and Wizard there, basically. Which is something to look forward to in the future, I guess. To see if they become those villains. But yeah. Aunt May in this was amazing as well. Like, you can't go wrong with Peter and Aunt May, to be fair. Like, that relationship is always solid. Yeah. And then we do get, like, cameos and all that from other, like, superheroes, such as, like, Doctor Strange, which was awesome seeing him in the first episode, and then the finale, which was actually all connected to each other when they team up to fight the symbiote and all that. And then we get to see Daredevil as well, that Daredevil fight, and hearing the theme music from the TV show and Charlie Cox's voice in Daredevil as well was so awesome. And he's wearing the black suit. That was so awesome. We also got like a cameo from like Iron Man as well when they take down Doc Ock. That was cool. And we see Ross, like Thunderbolt Ross as well in this because of the Sokovia Accords. Like, we get not like a cameo from Captain America, but we do see Captain America on like the news channels and like in a picture that Norman has in his penthouse or whatever at Oscorp, basically. So we do see Captain America. There was like a cameo of I guess like on the news report you do see Giant Man and like Bucky and that, like the heroes that were all at Civil War in Germany, basically on the news report. But yeah, that was mainly like all the hero and cameos of like big Marvel characters, to be honest. Yeah, one of the we do have the Watcher at the end. He just appeared, and I have seen online that the showrunners that was just popped that in there. That was more of just like a like a what if cameo, like the Watcher just watching. So we're seeing the Watcher like pop up in all these different like animation stuff now, like just doing his thing, just watching over, which is pretty cool. I won't lie, we saw the same thing in like X-Men 97 and What If and all that, which is pretty cool. Yeah, like that was cool. And then let's talk about the villains. So obviously we talked about Norman, he was great, but I want to talk about like Doc Ock and Scorpion. Oh my god. Dr. Octopus was basically the one that was building all this tech for all these villains that kept showing up, basically. So, yeah, some of the villains like Speed Demon, Tarantula, the Unicorn and that, they were so cool, to be fair, seeing them get their tech from Doc Ock, which makes sense. And Doc Ock's only doing this because he despises the hell out of 3 people in particular. And that is Banner, as in Bruce Banner the Hulk, Tony Stark Iron Man, and Norman Osborn, who are basically the smartest people on the planet, basically, besides Otto. So that's why he's basically doing this, because he wants to be the smartest person and his ego's getting to him. And I really like the classic design to Otto as well, which was really cool. And seeing him in his prison cell at the end, and seeing Iron Man take him down was very cool as well. But seeing him in the prison cell at the end was really cool, where you see him like drawing his arms on the wall, which is pretty cool. And then seeing him build the Scorpion suit as well. Like, look at Scorpion, man. Scorpion, I don't understand why we got T-Scorpion in Homecoming, right? And we haven't seen him in live action since then. Like, I want to know what's happening with Scorpion. I want to see Scorpion in live action. But this version of Scorpion was so perfect. Like, look at the suit and that. It was so cool. And then we get that moment with Lonnie and Peter, that like sort of No Way Home kind of parallel scene where Peter almost tries to kill Scorpion in the end. That was like really heartbreaking, because obviously Scorpion almost killed Peter and all that. So yeah, the villains in this was so cool. And obviously we get the symbiote as well, and the tease of that, basically. Chameleon was also a part of this and that. We do get Rhino, but he's not Rhino yet, so it'll be interesting to see when that will happen. But yeah, the villains in this was so cool. Like, yeah. And the only other thing I want to say is we could get like multiple suits, obviously. So the homemade suit, I really liked the homemade suit, like with the jersey and all that. That was really cool. The white suit that Norman builds for him, which is obviously inspired like by the Future Foundation suit that the Fantastic Four usually have in the comics, was really cool. And then seeing some of the other suits was really cool, but then seeing the classic red, blue suit in the end was so cool, man. I really liked the multiple suits this season. That was so cool. Like, I'm so glad we got that. And seeing them on the intros of each episode, and that was just, like, mind-blowing. But yeah, like, let's talk about the intro. The intro was really cool with, like, the classic theme song and that, like, mixed with, like, a modern remix of it. It was really cool. I enjoyed that too. But yeah, I just can't wait to get more. I just want more, is the honest truth. And we do get the tease when Aunt May went to a prison as well at the end, and we see her visiting someone, and it turns out to be Richard Parker. Peter's dad is still alive, but he's in prison. and he's voiced by none other than Josh Keaton, who is spectacular Spider-Man. Oh my god. I was not expecting that. That was the one thing I was not expecting. And I'm all here for that. And I cannot wait to see where this story is going. It's giving me like TASM 2 vibes with this storyline now. So, yeah. I wonder how this is going to go. I do wonder where they're going to go with this, because this could open like many opportunities. Like, we've got this storyline for future seasons. We've got the tease of Venom. We've got the tease of Doc Ock building his arms. And we got the tease of like Lonnie becoming Tombstone eventually. Like, I'm so excited for where this universe is going. And obviously Norman will become Green Goblin eventually. We got the tease of like the cloning, like the multiple spider people that Oscorp are doing, basically. Like, there's so much to talk about. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. Like, I really enjoyed this show, and I think you guys need to go check it out. Like, it's just one of the best adaptations for Spider-Man that I've seen in a long time. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it with you. I want to know what you guys thought of the show, and did you enjoy it? And if you did, leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content, and I will see you in the next one.